Hello, I'm Ron Reese with REE-Construction, General Idaho. First, I want to thank you for choosing us to help you navigate through this project at your property. I also want to take a few minutes to give you an overview of how the process will typically play out from the start until the time everything's finished up and things are back to normal. Now, generally, when we participate in a project, there's an insurance contract and an insurance company involved. And we're very comfortable working with your insurance company. And as is not uncommon these days, we may have an agreement in place with them to provide services to you as our client. However, we work for you, and we believe that if there is a damage, it's our responsibility to fairly assess that damage and fairly describe what's needed to return the property to its pre-loss condition. Now, typically, a damage restoration project falls into one of four separate phases, including an emergency response or mitigation phase. There may be a remediation phase. There may be a reconstruction phase of the project, and/or there may be a contents or personal property restoration phase. The goal of the emergency response, or as it's sometimes called mitigation, is to primarily stop the damage from getting worse. Now, this might include drying materials out, and it might also include some demolition of non-salvageable materials to prepare the property for work that's needed to bring it back to its pre-loss condition. There may be a remediation phase if there's a significant microbial contamination, like from a sewage damage, or if there's a mold concern of some sort. Simply put, remediation is the process of removing contamination. It's not covering it up, or it's not painting over it, or merely applying some chemical to try to kill the mold or other possible pathogens in the sewage. A proper remediation accomplishes removal and return of the indoor environment to a normal condition. Reconstruction involves that portion of the project where building materials, assemblies, and finishes that were damaged are either replaced or restored to their pre-loss condition. The goal in this phase is to typically make that line between the areas that were damaged and the areas that weren't damaged disappear. There may also be a personal property or contents that were either damaged or need to be addressed during the other phases, and this may trigger another phase of the project, which could include inventory, could include pack out, property restoration, and even storage of your personal property, followed by the return of your personal property to your home or business as the project winds up. Insurance companies will typically treat each of these phases separately, and we also typically treat them as separate projects, often assigning different people to oversee each phase and then invoicing for each phase separately. So when you call our office, you'll be talking to one of our customer service representatives. And they may be also calling you from time to time to either pass on messages about scheduling or if we need additional information. You may get emails or letters with things like documents and invoicing information addressed from them. They are responsible to make sure you and your insurer's communications coming to us get routed to the right person, and to make sure that communication from our estimators and production staff get out to you in a timely manner. If we're doing a mitigation, there will be one person called a mitigation lead that's responsible to oversee that phase of the project. They'll verify that we've correctly addressed the damage, set up to effectively stop the damage from getting worse, and communicate the project status with the insurer or the adjuster. If there's a remediation or reconstruction work to be done, an estimator will be developing what's called a scope of work in cooperation with your insurer and with your approval. The purpose of the scope is to guide our production staff as they do the actual remediation or reconstruction to make sure that we've agreed on what we're going to do for you, how much we're going to charge for that work before we complete the work that's been described. Now, if there's damage to or work called for to address damage to your personal property, our contents lead will be in charge of shepherding the restoration project through from start to finish. Now, as I said earlier, this portion of the project might involve inventory, decisions about disposal, pack out, cleaning, restoration work at your location or at our facility or by some specialty subcontractor. It may also include storage during remediation or reconstruction, and then pack in or return of your personal effects to your property. Now, we know that dealing with the damage to your home or business can be stressful, sometimes confusing, and by definition that it disrupts your normal routine. We also understand that our typical client may not have had the experience of navigating an insurance claim. We've been doing this a long time. We want to make sure that the process is as easy as possible for you. So please take a moment to look at the attachment that's included with this video called The Process for a little different view on the various steps that you may incur during a damage restoration project. And this is obviously a general overview, and each project will have some situation that requires a little different approach than a typical project. Please let us know at any time along the way if we need to do something a little different to meet your particular situation. Our goal is to make sure that when we're done, you feel that we've either met or exceeded your expectations, and you'll be comfortable recommending us to your friends and family. And again, thank you for taking time to review this video and choosing us to help put things right.